I was in the room when they handed you those papers, the ones that felt like a death sentence to your peace, and I watched the color drain from your face while the world stood by in silence. My beloved child, I have seen the trembling of your hands as you look at the documents, the legal notices, and the mounting bills that seem to mock the very faith you've tried so hard to hold on to. You have felt like a small, defenseless lamb caught in a thicket of wolves, where the laws of man seem designed to favor the cunning and the cold-hearted. You've asked me in the middle of the night, when the silence is loudest, "Where is your justice, Father? Why do the wicked prosper while I am left to crumble?" I want you to take a deep, long breath right now, for I am not a distant observer of your pain. I am the Chief Justice of the heavens, and I have stepped into the courtroom of your life. Every tear you have shed over this situation has been collected in my bottle, and every sleepless hour you've spent wondering how you will survive has been recorded in my book of remembrance. The injustice you are facing, this specific trial that feels so uniquely heavy, this situation 5891 that has weighed upon your soul, is not hidden from my eyes. I have seen the backroom deals, the whispered lies, and the manipulation of truth that has left you feeling isolated and betrayed. But I tell you today, the gavel of heaven has come down, and the verdict has already been rewritten in your favor. You are looking at the giant in front of you and fearing its size, but I am looking at the foundation of sand upon which that giant stands, and I am about to cause the earth to shake. Your anxiety has been a heavy cloak, a thief that has stolen your joy and made your bed a place of battle instead of rest. You worry about the finances, watching the numbers dwindle while the demands increase, and you feel the shame of lack creeping in like a cold mist. But I am the God who provided manna in the wilderness and water from the rock. Do you think I have forgotten you? Do you think I would lead you this far only to let you be consumed by a system I created the universe to transcend? I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am moving the hearts of those who think they hold power over you. They may have the signatures and the stamps, but I hold the breath in their lungs and the very trajectory of time. You have felt so lonely in this fight, as if friends have distanced themselves, and your family cannot truly understand the depth of the pressure you are under. But I am your advocate. I am the counselor who never sleeps. I am the father who stands between you and the storm, shielding you with my own presence. This situation is not your end. It is the stage I have set to demonstrate my glory. The very weapon that was formed against you, the one they thought would be your undoing, is being repurposed into the platform for your greatest testimony. I am restoring what the locusts have eaten. I am returning to you the years of peace that worry has stolen. You do not need to fight this battle with the weapons of this world. You do not need to scream to be heard or plot to be protected. Your silence in the face of their accusations has been a sacrifice of praise that I have honored. Now, watch as I move. Watch as the evidence that seemed so damning begins to dissolve. Watch as the people who meant to harm you find themselves compelled to help you. I am the God of the sudden turnaround. I am the God of the 5891st hour, the moment when all seems lost and the light breaks through the thickest darkness. Your bank account is not your source. I am. Your reputation is not in the hands of your accusers. It is in mine. I am wrapping my arms around you right now, letting you feel the warmth of a love that asks for nothing but your trust. You are my precious child, the apple of my eye, and I will not let you be put to shame. The legal snares that were set for your feet will instead catch those who laid them. The unfairness that has burned like a fire in your bones is being quenched by the cool waters of my grace. Rest your head, my love. Stop rehearsing the arguments in your mind. Stop preparing for the worst-case scenario. I am your best-case scenario. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning of your struggle and the glorious end of it. The miracle you have been whispering for is already in motion. It is not a matter of if, but now. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders even as you hear these words. The atmosphere of your home is shifting from one of dread to one of divine expectation. I love you with an everlasting love, and my justice is not just a concept, it is a promise, and that promise is being fulfilled in your life at this very second. Trust me, I am here. I have always been here. I have been watching the way you pace the floors at 3 in the morning, the way you try to balance the columns of a life that simply won't add up on paper. I see the stacks of correspondence you're afraid to open, and I hear the way your heart races when the phone rings with an unknown number. You have felt hunted, my child, as if the very structures of society have turned against your survival. But remember this, I am the one who sets the boundaries of the seas, and I am the one who tells the tides how far they can go. Those who seek to take from you what I have given you are not just contending with a person, they are contending with the Creator of all things. I am moving into the legal offices, into the boardrooms, and into the banks. I am confusing the tongues of those who speak lies against you. I am bringing to light the hidden documents that will prove your innocence. I am making sure that the financial resources that were diverted from you find their way back, with interest that the world cannot calculate. You are not just going to survive this. You are going to emerge with the spoils of war that will leave those around you in awe. The struggle was 5891, but the victory is infinite. Do you feel that slight shift in your spirit? That is my peace, which surpasses all understanding, standing guard over your heart. You no longer need to carry the burden of being your own defender. Lay down your sword, for I have taken up mine. The injustice that has stolen your sleep is being met by my unwavering righteousness. I am turning the no into a yes, and the guilty into vindicated. I am making a way where there is no way, and I am doing it because I love you, not because you have earned it, but because you are mine. Your future is not a question mark. It is an exclamation point of my faithfulness. Stand still and see the salvation of your God today. As the shadows of the legal chambers lengthen, notice how the light of my truth begins to filter through the heavy curtains. I am moving the pens of those who thought they held your fate in their hands. They looked at the evidence and saw a closed door, but I looked at your heart and saw a portal for my glory. Remember the night you sat at your kitchen table, the lamp casting long, weary shadows over those documents you couldn't bear to read one more time. I was there, counting every sigh that escaped your lips. I saw the way you rubbed your temples, trying to massage away the headache of 1,000 what-ifs. That night, while the world slept, I was already rearranging the archives. I was breathing upon the hearts of the witnesses, unsettling the sleep of the ones who intended to deceive. There is a specific document, one you feared had been lost or suppressed, that is even now being brought to the surface. It will not be by your cleverness that it is found, but by my divine coincidence. I am the architect of the 11th hour. When the clock ticks toward what seems like an inevitable conclusion, I am the one who stops the sun in the sky to give you enough time to see the victory. The accusations that were whispered in the dark, intended to stain your character and strip you of your influence, are being caught in the wind of my spirit. I am blowing them back upon the ones who sent them, not out of a desire for vengeance, but to establish the boundary of my protection around you. You have been like a tree planted by the water, even when the drought of unfairness tried to wither your leaves. Your roots have gone deep into the soil of my promises, and now the season of fruitfulness is arriving unannounced. Do not look at the gavel in the hand of a man, look at the scepter in my hand. The earthly judge may read the law, but I am the lawgiver who writes the statutes of mercy. I am touching the minds of your adversaries, creating a divine confusion in their ranks. Where they once stood united in their attempt to displace you, they will now find themselves divided by their own shadows. You are entering a space where you no longer have to explain yourself. Your life will be the explanation. Your peace will be the evidence. Your sudden elevation will be the verdict. I am healing the trauma that the conflict left in your bones. The tension in your shoulders, the way you startle at the sound of the phone, these are the residues of a battle I have already won. Let my presence wash over those tight places. I am your sanctuary, a fortress that no subpoena can breach and no false testimony can crumble. Think of the Josephs and the Daniels who walked through the corridors of power under the weight of false charges. I did not just get them out of prison. I made them rulers of the very systems that tried to bind them. This is the magnitude of the restoration I am bringing to your doorstep. It is not a mere return to the status quo. It is an upgrade of your entire existence. The resources that were held back from you are accumulating even now, gathering interest in the celestial banks. When they are released, they will flood your life with a surplus that will allow you to be the answer to someone else's prayer. I am turning your case into a cause. This trial was never meant to break you. It was the furnace intended to refine the gold of your testimony. You are coming out of this with a clarity of vision you never possessed before. You will see the world not through the lens of a victim, but through the eyes of a conqueror who knows the king. Every tear you shed in private over the unfairness of the situation has been bottled. Not one drop was wasted. They are the seeds of the joy that is about to bloom in your garden. There will be a phone call, perhaps early in the morning or late in the afternoon, when the tone of the voice on the other end will change. The arrogance will be replaced by a request for a settlement, the coldness replaced by a sudden desire for resolution. In that moment, do not gloat, but breathe. Breathe in the reality that I have fought for you while you remained still. I am addressing the generational patterns of lack and litigation that have tried to claim your family line. I am drawing a line in the sand today and saying, this far and no further. The cycle of being overlooked and undervalued ends with this victory. You are being positioned in a room where your voice will carry weight, where your integrity will be the gold standard. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, but I am also inviting you to a feast of intimacy with me. The greatest spoil of this war is not the money or the title. It is the unshakable knowledge that I am for you. I am the silent witness in the boardroom, the invisible advocate in the courtroom, and the sovereign provider in the marketplace. Rest your head tonight with the absolute certainty that the wheels of my justice, though they may seem to grind slowly, grind with an exquisite precision that misses nothing. Every detail, every nuance, every hidden motive is under my gaze. I am bringing forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday sun. You are safe. You are seen. You are about to be celebrated in the very place where you were once criticized. Hold my hand as we walk through the remainder of this process. The path is becoming smoother under your feet. The obstacles are being moved by hands you cannot see. The victory is not coming. It is already here, waiting for the physical world to catch up to the spiritual decree I have already signed with my own blood. You have sat in those hard chairs, your fingers tracing the edges of legal briefs and formal letters that felt like weapons formed against your peace. I was there in the room when the air felt too heavy to breathe, and the weight of false accusations pressed against your chest like a physical burden. I saw the way your breath caught when the lies were spoken as truth, and I felt the sting of every betrayal that came from those you once trusted. You thought you were alone in your defense, scouring through emails and records, trying to piece together a shield from the fragments of your integrity. But I was the one highlighting the discrepancies in their stories. I was the one placing the crucial evidence in the path of your remembrance and silencing the tongues that sought to devour your legacy. The adversary thinks they have built a labyrinth from which you cannot escape, but I am the architect of the exit. I am rearranging the very atoms of this conflict even as you read these words. Even now, in the offices where your name was once whispered with malice, a new sound is rising. It is the sound of unease among those who sought your downfall. They are beginning to see the cracks in their own foundation. They intended to exhaust your resources, to wear down your spirit until you surrendered out of sheer fatigue, but they did not account for my infinite supply. I am the well that does not run dry. I am the strength that renews itself in the secret place of quiet confidence. Look closely at the faces of those who opposed you. Notice the shadow of hesitation that has begun to flicker in their eyes. They are realizing that they are not fighting against a person, but against a purpose that cannot be thwarted. This is why the wind has shifted. This is why the doors that were once bolted shut are now beginning to groan on their hinges. I am not just winning a case for you. I am dismantling the system of oppression that allowed this to access your life in the first place. Your restoration will not be a quiet retreat. It will be a public declaration of my faithfulness. The very people who were called as witnesses against you will find themselves speaking the truth, compelled by a conviction they cannot explain. I am touching the minds of judges and the hearts of mediators. I am bringing to light the hidden documents, the deleted messages, and the secret agreements made in darkness. Nothing is hidden from my sight. Every tear you shed over those legal fees, every hour of sleep lost to anxiety, I have kept a record of it all in the ledger of heaven. My restitution is not merely a return to where you were. It is a total upgrade of your territory. I am giving you double for your trouble. You will emerge from this fire without even the smell of smoke upon your clothes. Your character has been forged in this heat, tempered into something unbreakable. The world sees a legal battle, but I see a coronation. You are being crowned with a level of authority that can only be earned through the endurance of injustice. This process was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to disqualify your enemies from having any further influence over your destiny. As we move into this final phase, do not let your heart be troubled by the last-ditch efforts of the opposition. Their noise is the sound of a falling kingdom. It is the frantic energy of those who know their time is short and their leverage has evaporated. Stay in the place of rest. Speak only when I tell you to speak, for my silence in you is often the most powerful weapon. I am the master of the sudden turnaround. Just when they think they have you cornered, I will part the sea. The breakthrough will come from a direction you haven't even considered, a phone call, a sudden discovery, a change of heart, a divine intervention that defies logic. You are the apple of my eye, and I protect my own with a ferocity that the world cannot comprehend. This story ends with you standing tall, not because of your own cleverness, but because the King of Justice stood by your side. You are moving from the courtroom of man to the courtyard of my favor. The air is changing. The heavy weight of litigation is lifting, replaced by the lightness of my grace. Breathe it in. Feel the expansion in your chest. The battle is mine, but the spoils are yours. We are walking out of this together, and you will never again doubt that I am the one who fights for you. I am already moving in the hearts of those who must make the final decision. I am the whisper of conscience in the night that prevents them from finding rest until they have done what is right by you. I am the one who brings the hidden witness forward and the one who causes the false witness to stumble over their own words. Your name is being cleared, not just on paper, but in the spirits of all who have heard the lies. The very ground that was stolen from you is being returned with interest. I am the God of the harvest, and you are about to reap where you have sown in tears. Your integrity has been your greatest advocate, and I have used it to build a case that no human lawyer can dismantle. Look forward with joy, for the resolution is closer than you think, and it will be more complete than you ever dared to ask for. Even now, while the world remains oblivious to the shift, I am rearranging the stars of your destiny. You have felt the coldness of the isolation, the way people looked away when the accusations were loudest, and the heavy silence of friends who did not know how to stand by you in the fire. But I was there in the heat of that furnace, and I am the reason you do not even smell of smoke. I am opening the ledgers that were locked away in the dead of night, those digital trails and paper paths that were meant to be erased. I am the one who breathes upon the embers of truth until they flare into a light that cannot be ignored. Think of the office where the decision was made to sideline you. I am standing in that room now, unsettling the atmosphere, making the air heavy for those who profited from your loss. I am the sudden memory that strikes the heart of your adversary, a memory of your kindness that now stings like a coal of fire, forcing them to confront the magnitude of their error. You have worried about the cost of this fight, the way it has drained your resources and your spirit, but I am the God of the overflow. I am not just returning what was taken, I am adding the interest of 1,000 prayers. I am the architect of your reputation, and I am rebuilding it on a foundation that can never be shaken by the winds of gossip or the tremors of greed. Look at your hands. They have been held out in supplication for so long, but soon they will be filled with the weight of the harvest. I am moving the hand of the judge, the heart of the juror, and the mind of the witness who was once afraid to speak. Their tongues are being loosened by a power they cannot explain. The shadows that have followed you, those whispers that seem to haunt your every step, are dissipating like morning mist before the sun. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, the years of stress, the missed celebrations, the nights of staring at the ceiling wondering if justice was a fairy tale. It is no myth, it is my nature. I am the righteous judge who does not sleep, and I have seen every tear you shed into your pillow when you thought the darkness would never end. I am the one who will make your vindication so public that even those who sought your downfall will have to acknowledge the hand of the Almighty upon your life. This is not merely a legal victory, it is a spiritual coronation. I am crowning your perseverance with a glory that will shine for generations in your family line. The legacy of the one who was wronged is being deleted, replaced by the one whom the Lord has favored. I am the peace that surpasses understanding, standing guard over your heart while the final gavel falls. You will see that every delay was actually a season of preparation, ensuring that when the restoration came, you would have the capacity to carry it. I am the breath in your lungs when the news finally breaks, the strength in your knees when you realize the weight has finally lifted. Do not look back at the wreckage with bitterness. Look at it with the wisdom of one who has walked through the Red Sea and seen the waters close over their pursuers. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way, and I am currently carving a path through the mountain of your obstacles. The stone that the builders rejected is becoming the cornerstone of a new season of influence for you. I am the quiet assurance in your spirit that whispers, "It is done," long before the official papers are signed. I am the one who gives you beauty for ashes and the oil of joy for mourning. Every document that was used against you is being turned into a testimony of my faithfulness. Every lie is being dismantled piece by piece, until nothing remains but the stark, beautiful truth of who I have made you to be. Your name is being spoken in high places, not with disdain, but with a newfound respect that I have commanded. I am the wind at your back, pushing you toward a horizon you once thought was closed to you forever. The gates that were barred are swinging open of their own accord, for they cannot remain shut against the King of Glory and the one he has chosen to honor. You are the apple of my eye, and those who touched you touched the most sensitive part of my heart. I have taken it personally. I have taken the injustice as an affront to my own throne, and I am responding with the full weight of my sovereignty. You will not have to say a word to defend yourself. the results will speak with a roar that silences the scoffers. Rest now, truly rest, in the cradle of my promise. I am even now visiting the dreams of those who plotted against you, not to condemn them to destruction, but to convict them so deeply that they cannot find peace until they have made restitution. I am the internal compass that points toward the truth, even in a courtroom filled with smoke and mirrors. I am the clarity that descends upon the mediator, the sudden insight that allows the investigator to find the missing link that connects your innocence to the evidence. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am breaking through the legal jargon and the technicalities that were used to trip you up. I am smoothing the path before you, leveling the valleys of despair, and bringing low the mountains of prideful opposition. You will walk on level ground, and your feet will not stumble. I am also healing the hidden wounds, the way your self-worth was bruised, the way you began to doubt your own value because of the way you were treated. I am pouring the oil of my spirit into those cracks in your soul. I am reminding you that your worth was never determined by a contract, a title, or a bank account. You are royalty in my kingdom, and this earthly correction is merely a small reflection of the justice that reigns in my courts. Soon, you will be able to look back at this entire ordeal and see it not as a tragedy, but as the fire that refined your gold. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, and I am inviting you to sit and feast while I deal with the matters that once kept you awake. The battle is not just being won, it is being settled for all time. No longer will you have to look over your shoulder, wondering when the next blow will land. I am your rear guard and your vanguard. I am the alpha and the omega of this situation, and I have already seen the end from the beginning. The end is good. The end is righteous. The end is yours. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders even as you read these words. For too long, you have carried the burden of proof, trying to convince the world of a truth that I have known since the foundations of the earth. You have stood in rooms where the air felt thin, and the faces were masks of indifference, wondering if anyone truly saw the integrity of your heart. I saw it. I saw the moment you chose honesty over an easy exit. I saw the tears you shed over the documents that were meant to bind you, to silence you, and to strip you of what you worked so hard to build. Those papers, though they carry the signatures of men, do not carry the authority of my word. I am the supreme arbiter, and I have stepped into the fray to recalibrate the scales. Think back to that season when it felt like the ground was shifting beneath your feet. You felt small, discarded by an institution that you had served with loyalty. You saw others being rewarded for the very things you were penalized for. This perceived imbalance was not a sign of my absence, but a setup for a demonstration of my power. I am moving behind the scenes, untangling the knots that human hands have tied. The legal complexities that seem like an impenetrable labyrinth to you are but a straight path to me. I am touching the minds of those who hold the pens, and I am troubling the sleep of those who have acted with malice. They will find no rest until they make right what they have made wrong. I'm not just restoring your finances or your reputation, I am restoring your voice. For years, you felt as though you had to swallow your truth to survive, to keep the peace, or to avoid further retribution. But the season of silence is ending. I am breathing into your lungs a new song of confidence. You will speak, and your words will carry the weight of divine truth, cutting through the fog of deception that has surrounded this case. The very people who look down upon you will soon look to you, marveling at the grace that sustained you when they expected you to break. You did not break because you were grafted into the vine, and my strength is made perfect in your weakness. I want you to envision the courtroom of my grace. There, the accusations against you have been struck from the record. There is no evidence that can stand against the character I have forged within you. Even as the earthly processes take their time, for I am working through the timing of the seasons. Know that the verdict has already been signed in heaven. You are being moved from the position of the accused to the position of the heir. Everything that was siphoned away through greed, through systemic failure, or through personal betrayal is being gathered back into my storehouses, and I am preparing to release it with interest. Do you remember the nights you paced the floor, counting the cost of what you lost? You counted the dollars, the hours, and the sleep, but I have been counting your prayers. I have been collecting your tears in my bottle. Not one sigh of yours has been ignored. The person who thought they could manipulate the system to your detriment forgot that the system itself is under my dominion. I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am exposing the hidden ledgers. The errors that were made in their favor will suddenly come to light, and the truth will be undeniable. This is not just a correction, it is a consecration. You are being set apart as a testimony of my faithfulness in the face of unfairness. Rest your mind now. The frantic search for evidence and the constant rehearsing of your defense can cease. I am your counselor. I am your advocate. I am the one who knows the contents of every hidden email, the substance of every whispered conversation, and the true intent behind every fine print clause. I am turning the tables. Where there was a trap set for your feet, there will instead be a stepping stone. Where there was a wall built to block your progress, there will be a gateway into a wider place. You are transitioning out of the wilderness of litigation and into the promised land of peace. This transition requires you to let go of the bitterness that tried to take root. Forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because you are too heavy to fly with that weight. Let me handle the vengeance. Let me handle the restitution. Your job is to stand still and see the salvation that I am bringing to your house. I am looking at the blueprints of your future, and they are not marred by the scars of this legal battle. In fact, those very scars will be the evidence of your victory. I am building a fortress around your peace so that no further arrow of injustice can reach you. The anxiety that has been your constant companion is being evicted. In its place, I am installing a steady, unshakable joy. You will walk back into those offices, those courtrooms, and those high-rise buildings not as a victim, but as a victor. The atmosphere will change when you enter the room because you carry the presence of the one who judges justly. I am weaving together the loose ends of your story. Every sleepless hour spent staring at the ceiling, every lunch break spent in a cold car crying out for help, every dollar spent on defense that should have been spent on your dreams, I am accounting for it all. My economy does not operate on the scarcity of man. I am the God of more than enough. I am reaching into the dark corners of the hearts of those who opposed you, and I am shining a light so bright they will have no choice but to bow to the truth. This is your moment of vindication. It is not coming, it is here. It is settling over your life like a soft morning mist, quiet but pervasive. Soon, the sun will rise and the mist will clear, revealing a landscape that has been completely transformed. You will see that you have not lost time, you have gained character. You have not lost resources, you have gained an inheritance that can never be stolen. I am the God who restores the years the locusts have eaten. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. And right now, I am making a way for you to walk out of this trial and into a season of unprecedented favor. Breathe. Just breathe. The gavel has fallen in the courts of eternity, and the ruling is in your favor. There is no appeal that can overturn my decree. You are justified, you are protected, and you are loved beyond measure. The world may have tried to label you, but I have named you mine. Watch now, as the shadows that once stretched long across your path begin to shrink under the weight of my glory. You have stood silent while others spoke over you, and you have remained humble while they sought to exalt themselves at your expense. Every tear you shed in the privacy of your room was a seed planted in the soil of my justice, and that harvest is now breaking through the surface. I am dismantling the complex structures of deceit that were built to entrap you. Those who sat in high places and conspired to take what I gave you are finding their foundations crumbling. They relied on their own cunning, but they did not account for my sovereignty. I am opening the ledgers of heaven and cross-referencing them with the ledgers of men, and where there has been a deficit caused by theft or malice, I am issuing a divine mandate for repayment. This is not a mere settlement. It is a total restoration with interest. You have felt the sting of betrayal from those you once trusted, people who sat at your table and then used your kindness as a weapon against you. I saw it all. I saw the moments you wanted to scream but chose to pray instead. I saw the nights you walked the floor, wondering if the truth would ever be known. Hear me now. The truth is not just a concept. It is a person, and I am standing in your defense. I am rearranging the hearts of those who will decide your earthly fate. I am moving upon the minds of judges, supervisors, and authorities, giving them a divine unrest that can only be settled by doing what is right by you. They will find themselves looking at your files, your records, and your history with new eyes. A clarity they cannot explain will come over them, and they will see the discrepancies and the injustices that were previously hidden by the fog of manipulation. You are entering a space where you no longer have to explain yourself. Your character will begin to speak with a resonance that drowns out every false accusation. Think of the peace that is now entering your home. The atmosphere of tension that has hung over your family like a heavy curtain is being pulled back to let in the fresh air of my presence. I am healing the fractures in your relationships that were caused by this external pressure. I am showing your children and your loved ones that I am a God who honors the faithful. You are becoming a living testimony of the fact that no weapon formed against you can prosper. I am even reaching into your physical body, soothing the places where stress has taken a toll. The tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, and the exhaustion in your bones are being replaced by a supernatural strength. You will run and not grow weary. You will walk and not faint. This season of litigation, whether it was in a courtroom or in the court of public opinion, is being resolved by my hand. I am bringing forth witnesses you didn't know existed. I am uncovering emails, documents, and conversations that will provide the undeniable evidence of your integrity. You do not need to fight this battle with the same carnal weapons they used against you. You do not need to lie, to manipulate, or to retaliate. Your silence in the face of mockery was your greatest strength, for it allowed me to speak on your behalf. As the sun rises on this new day, you will find that the people who tried to block your progress have inadvertently become the stepping stones to your promotion. I take the very things meant for your harm, and I repurpose them for your good. The wilderness you have traveled was not a detour. It was a training ground. You have learned to hear my voice in the silence, and you have learned to trust my hand in the dark. Now, you will learn how to handle the abundance and the influence that come with true vindication. I am preparing you to carry a weight of glory that would have crushed you before this trial. You are being refined like gold, and the dross of bitterness and fear is being burned away. What remains is a heart that is pure, a spirit that is resilient, and a faith that is unshakable. I am extending your borders. I am giving you back the territory that was seized. Whether it is your professional reputation, your financial stability, or your peace of mind, it is being returned to you in greater measure than before. Do not look back at the fire. Look forward to the landscape I am preparing. There are appointments on your calendar that I have already set, meetings with people who will recognize your value and offer you opportunities that far exceed what was lost. You are no longer defined by the struggle. You are defined by the victory. I am pouring out a spirit of wisdom upon you so that you will know how to steward this new season. You will walk with a quiet confidence, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine and I am just. The era of being overlooked and undervalued is coming to an abrupt end. I am shining a spotlight on the gifts I placed within you, and the very people who dismissed you will now seek your counsel. This is the beauty of my justice. It does not just right the wrong, it elevates the wronged. Rest your head tonight knowing that the highest court in existence has already ruled. The paperwork is being processed in the physical realm, but the victory is already established in the spirit. You are moving from the place of the accused to the place of the honored. Every word spoken against you is being struck from the record, and in its place, I am writing a story of triumph that will encourage generations to come. Trust the timing of my hand, for I am never late. I am arriving at the exact moment when the impact will be the greatest. You are safe. You are held. You are justified. I am even reaching into the hidden corners of your bank accounts and your legal standing, correcting the errors that were made by human hands or malicious intent. The red tape that seemed like an insurmountable mountain is dissolving like wax before a flame. I am sending divine intercessors, people you have never met who have the power to influence your situation, to act on your behalf because I have whispered your name to them in the quiet of the night. You will receive phone calls and letters that change the trajectory of this entire ordeal. The news will not be another setback, but a breakthrough. I am also dealing with the root of the bitterness that tried to take hold in your heart. I am washing away the resentment you felt toward those who lied about you. This is part of your justice, too. The freedom to live without the weight of their actions anchoring your soul to the past. I am setting you free from the need to see them fail, for I am making your success so great that their actions will no longer matter to you. You are being lifted to a height where their whispers can no longer reach your ears. I am restoring your sleep. The hours of the night that were once filled with rehearsing arguments and worrying about outcomes are now being filled with deep, restorative rest. I am guarding your mind as you sleep, planting seeds of vision and creativity for the future. You will wake up with ideas that will generate new streams of provision. The resources that were withheld from you are being released, and they are flowing through channels that no one can block. I am the God of the overflow. I am the God who sees the hidden motive and the secret sacrifice. Your quiet endurance has been a sweet aroma to me, and I am responding with a public display of my favor. The very ground you thought was lost is being returned to you, fertile and ready for a new harvest. You will plant gardens where there were once only thorns. You will build where there was once only ruin. And as you walk through this transformed landscape, you will realize that the trial was not meant to break you, but to break the things off of you that were holding you back. You are lighter now. You are stronger. You are more like me. The gavel has not just fallen once. Its echo is reverberating through every area of your life, signaling a permanent change in your status. You are no longer the victim of circumstances. You are the victor through my love. The world will see the change and wonder how it happened, and you will simply point to my grace. This is the beginning of a long season of stability. The turbulence is behind you, and the clear skies are ahead. Every legal document, every contract, and every agreement that was meant to harm you is being rewritten by the finger of God. I am your advocate, and I have never lost a case. Look now at the ink as it dries upon the new decrees of your life. I am moving through the hidden archives where your name was once associated with struggle, and I am etching exonerated and highly favored across every file. The very people who once sat in judgment, convinced of your defeat, are now being moved out of the way to make room for those I have appointed to bless you. It is not just about the money that was taken or the position that was withheld. It is about the total restoration of your peace, which is a currency that cannot be devalued or stolen by any earthly thief. I watched you in the quiet, agonizing hours when you stared at the ceiling, wondering if truth still had a voice in this world. I heard the prayers you could not even speak, the ones that were just heavy, wordless sighs in the dark. Every tear you shed over those legal briefs, and every moment of suffocating anxiety over the next hearing, has been recorded in my book. I am issuing a divine refund for every second of joy that was siphoned from your heart. Consider the years the locust has eaten. I am not just replacing them. I am multiplying the fruit of the seasons you have left. Your name is being spoken in high places now, not as a cautionary tale of a victim, but as a stunning testimony of resilience. The closed doors you pounded on until your hands were bruised are being taken off their hinges. I am opening gates that no man or system can shut. Think of the lineage that follows you. The battle you fought wasn't just for your own survival, but to break a cycle of injustice that tried to claim your children and your children's children. By standing your ground in my truth, you have cleared a mountain of debris for them to walk on level ground. The shadows of doubt that followed you like a persistent creditor have been dispelled by the brilliance of this new morning. Notice how the air feels different today. The weight that lived in your chest, that tight knot of "what if," is dissolving into a quiet certainty of it is done. I am setting a table for you in the presence of those who doubted you, not so you can gloat, but so they can witness the magnitude of my faithfulness and the futility of trying to stop whom I have blessed. Your reputation is being polished like silver, reflecting my light with such clarity that the stains of the past are no longer visible. I am reclaiming the territory that was swindled from you, not just the physical land or the financial assets, but the emotional landscape of your heart. You will no longer wake up with the defensive posture of a person under attack. You will wake up with the relaxed breath of a person who is cherished, protected, and fully seen. The archives of your family's history are being corrected. Where there was a narrative of loss and betrayal, I am writing a story of divine intervention and supernatural recovery. I am the God of the second chance, the third chance, and the ultimate victory. I am working behind the scenes in the minds of those who currently hold the power to sign the papers you need. I am softening hearts that were hardened like stone against you, and I am making them instruments of my justice. You will receive phone calls that defy logic. You will see emails that provide the breakthrough you stopped expecting months ago. This is the suddenly season of your life. The slow, agonizing grind of the legal machinery is being bypassed by the swift hand of my spirit. You have been a faithful steward in the small things, even when those small things were being stripped away, and now I am making you ruler over much. Rest now in the knowledge that your defense is not dependent on your eloquence, your lawyers, or your resources. Your defense is me. I have already secured the verdict in the courts of heaven, and now you are simply watching the earthly reality align with the heavenly decree. The peace that surpasses all understanding is your new guard, standing watch at the door of your mind. No longer will you be triggered by the sound of a notification or the sight of a letterhead. Those things have lost their power over you because you have seen the end from the beginning. You are stepping into a sphere of influence where your integrity will be your greatest asset. The wisdom you gained in the fire is more valuable than the gold you thought you lost. You are a different person than you were when this trial began, sharper, more discerning, and more deeply rooted in my presence than you ever could have been in comfort. The landscape of your future is stretching out before you, vast and filled with possibility. The fences that were erected to keep you out are being torn down. You are being invited into rooms you didn't even know existed. And as you walk into these new opportunities, you will carry the fragrance of victory, a quiet confidence that speaks louder than any shout. I am making all things new. Not just some things, but all things. Every broken contract, every violated trust, and every stolen dream is being gathered into my hands and fashioned into something far more beautiful than the original. You are my masterpiece of justice, a living example of what happens when a soul refuses to bow to the lies of the enemy. The journey has been long, but the destination is glorious. You are not arriving as a refugee. You are arriving as a conqueror. The scars you carry are not marks of shame, but medals of honor. They prove that you survived the worst the world could throw at you and emerged with your faith intact. I am your refuge and your strength, an ever-present help in trouble. And now, the trouble is passing and the help has arrived in full force. Feel the warmth of my favor like a sun that never sets. The cold winters of litigation and unfair accusations are over. I am restoring your health, which suffered under the strain. I am restoring your sleep, which was haunted by worry. I am restoring your ability to dream without fear of disappointment. You are entering a sanctuary of stability. Even the wealth that was diverted from you is being rerouted back into your hands, with interest added for the delay. This is not just a settlement, it is a divine repositioning. Look closely at the horizon of your life, for the shadows that once stretched long and threatening are now being swallowed by the dawn of my vindication. You have stood in courtrooms where the air was thick with the scent of old paper and new lies, where the weight of every accusation felt like a physical blow to your chest. But I was there, the unseen advocate, standing at the defense table, whispering strength into your spirit when your voice trembled. Every document filed against you was a page in a story I was already rewriting. I saw the sleepless nights when you paced the floor, your mind a whirlwind of legal jargon and what-if scenarios. I saw the tears you shed in the privacy of your car, far from the eyes of those who looked to you for strength. Those tears were not lost. They were seeds sown in a dry land, and now the harvest of your righteousness is breaking through the soil. The very people who conspired to diminish your influence are now finding themselves irrelevant, their schemes dissolving like mist in the morning sun. I am reversing the narrative. Where you were labeled as a liability, you are now being recognized as the cornerstone. Where your integrity was called into question, I am polishing your reputation until it reflects my own glory. This is the hour of the great exchange. I am taking the bitterness of the legal battle and replacing it with the sweetness of a peace that surpasses all understanding. Do you feel the tension leaving your neck and shoulders? That is my hand removing the yoke of the oppressor. I am not just winning a case for you, I am winning your future. I am opening vaults that have been locked for years, releasing resources that were rightfully yours but were withheld by the hands of the greedy. Watch as the bureaucratic red tape begins to unravel on its own, as if burned by a holy fire. You will not have to fight for this. You will only have to receive it. I am speaking to the hearts of decision-makers, turning their thoughts toward you with favor they cannot explain. Even those who were once your adversaries will find themselves compelled to assist your progress. For when a person's ways please me, I make even their enemies to be at peace with them. We are entering a season where the delays you suffered will be revealed as divine protection. If those doors had opened sooner, the structure of your life would not have been ready for the weight of the blessing I am now pouring out. But now, you are ready. You are tempered like steel, refined like gold, and prepared to handle the abundance without losing your soul. Think back to the moments when you felt most abandoned by the system, when the law seemed a tool for the powerful and a trap for the innocent. In those moments, I was establishing a higher law, a spiritual precedent that cannot be overturned by any earthly judge. I am the supreme justice, and my gavel has fallen in your favor. The verdict is final. You are innocent, you are restored, and you are promoted. Take a deep breath and let the residue of the struggle fall away. The legal fees, the lost time, the missed celebrations with your family, I am calculating the interest on all of it. I am restoring the years that the locust has eaten, giving you double for your trouble. You will look back on this period not as a time of loss, but as the time of your greatest transformation. Your family will see the change in you. The sharpness in your eyes will soften into a deep, abiding joy. The home that was filled with the tension of pending litigation will now be filled with the sound of laughter and the fragrance of rest. I am sealing the leaks in your house, both literal and metaphorical. No longer will your energy be drained by the demands of a conflict you did not seek. You are stepping into a wide, spacious place where your feet will not stumble. I am building a hedge of protection around your new beginning that no weapon formed against you can penetrate. The record of your life is being wiped clean of the stains of false testimony, and in its place, I am writing a testimony of my faithfulness that will encourage generations to come. You are becoming a living witness to the truth that justice may be delayed, but under my watch, it is never denied. Feel the warmth of my presence wrapping around you like a heavy cloak on a winter night. The chill of the courtroom is gone. The coldness of the world's indifference is melting away. You are my beloved, and I have taken up your cause as my own. As we move forward, do not look back at the rubble of the past. Do not replay the arguments or the insults in your mind. Those things belong to a person you no longer are. You have been birthed through this fire into a higher version of yourself. Your capacity to love has increased because you have known what it is to be hated without cause. Your capacity to lead has grown because you have learned to follow me in the dark. I am placing a new song in your mouth, a song of deliverance that will be heard by those who are still trapped in their own battles. Your victory is not for you alone. It is a beacon for every soul who feels forgotten by the scales of justice. Rest now, for the advocate has finished the closing argument, and the victory is yours.